Nothing like that breath of life to energize you and to energize you from the divine essence of all around, up, down, inside, outside, all in between. From the divine essence of the Creator that bring all life into being. Keep us and sustain us as we sustain and keep ourselves energetically in alignment with this energy. Humam Abdulmalik, once again before the sunrise, with Blackanized international Nubian consciousness. Conscious chess moves, because it's all about consciousness and being conscious of our surrounding, our environment, to merge with the subconscious, to become more spiritually inclined. I want to say peace, power, and love for us as a people. In this love to develop, motivate, and stimulate, and escalate our yearning to come together, our learning how to be able to come together, our learning and yearning to be able to develop in our communities a community mindset, a community type, like village type setting, where the elders are respected, the youth are also respected, because they get their wisdom from the elders. And we got to be the protectors of our younger seeds, or the ones in between the elders and the young warriors, our brothers or sisters, because it takes everybody in the village to be in alignment and connected to develop it on the lines of peace and harmony. That's what we got to do. We got to promote love, peace, and harmony amongst us as a people, so that we can overcome the debilitation that has been socially engineered upon us in this open laboratory, from the skies above us with the chemtrails, with the water we drink with the fluoride in it, the foods we eat, genetically modified processing, taking the seeds out of the food so they can control it. And I say, so if we're not aware of who they are, then we got to become aware of who they are. It's a system. It's the system we live under. They say it's a democratic society or democratic system that we live under, but we somewhat has been held hostage within this system to not be culturally inclined, spiritually inclined, from our perspective as a people of being the original people, indigenous and aborigine, on the whole planet Earth. And we find ourselves over here in this land that gave birth to one of the most horrendous forms of slavery, man's inhumanity to man that ever been known on the planet Earth. That's what this land gave birth to, this system, this democratic society or system that we live under. And that's the reality. Even though we live here in times of peace, but they always doing something in their laboratories, trying to find a way to, like, push us. You know, it's like a stimuli. You've seen them little scenarios with the animal in the cage, and if he touch something, he get stung or whatever, or shocked or whatever. So he won't do that, and he might sit there and he might die because he don't want the pain. But sometimes with us, it's like we feel a Novocaine, mentally and spiritually and physically. See, we like to, those of us that's in that dilemma or paradigm of getting high and all that. The ones that used to use heroin, noticed that they wanted the best high it was. If they can OD, that's what they wanted. They wanted that high. I don't know why. Life is about living, not about dying. Even though we all gonna die, but we should die for a cause and not be caused. I just want to keep reiterating what we have to do as a people to overcome our this deterrent type attitude in our community to want to hurt each other and be hurting each other for whatever reason. In our relationships first, eternally in the home, then on the street in the community. A lot of it stems from drugs and criminal activity that if we purify ourselves, then we don't have to worry about that in our community. That's what we must do. We must not try. We must do. We must put forth the greatest effort ever in our lifetime to purify ourselves. In this day and time, the time is perfect for us to do it. Eternally, through understanding of who we are. We got to study self. We study self by reading. We on these contraptions where we can Google any information that we need. All we got to do is say the word. Say a word and say, Google, define this, or Google, what's this, and what date, and all that. And then pull it right up. Because they say if you put information in a book, we'll never ascertain it. That's not true. A lot of us love reading, but a lot of us love this Google thing on this contraption, this technology that we have today. And it's about learning. It's not about exposing super stupid dispositions, showing how well we can hurt each other, how high we can get, or fighting. This ain't about that. I mean, if you want stardom or something, try to become a real actor. That's not stardom, you fighting and all that, or showing your weapons and all that. I was looking at this the other day, yesterday, matter of fact. I seen a group of young brothers showing all type of weapons. I thought they was in Vietnam somewhere or Afghanistan with the weapons they had. They ain't just have, if they'd have had some rocket launchers and some tanks, I thought it was been a war over here. All they had was automatic weapons. One brother had 3 clips on his. And, talking about when you come, you better come right and all that. But the fight is not against us, brothers, and not against ourselves. You're an army, sure, with no discipline, no direction, sure. You need to organize and get discipline, and know who you are. Find out who you are as a people, as our young warriors. You have to find out that you're being manipulated. It's like you under robot control through social engineering. And you say, what am I talking about? I'm talking about you being manipulated through social scientists. That's their job. They're masters of psychological warfare. They're masters of this. 24/7, that's all they do. They study this. They study how we act and how we move. And, when they put the drugs on what we do, then if we don't get our money, then what we do and all that. They know this. They be looking at us from satellites and even from the phone and from the big television we got in our living rooms. They can see us when the TV or something is off or when it's on. They can, through their manipulation of the technology, be watching you, listen to your conversation. This is a known fact. The NSC and the NSA, they've been doing this. They was doing this in the 90s, listening to your conversation on the phone. If you say a particular word, they on you. Bam. So we got to come together, especially you, our young youth, our young warriors, and organize. The best example I can tell you that I see, I mean, I don't be in the churches and all that. You know, they do a lot of stuff in the churches and probably organize and, you know, discipline and all that. But I ain't seen no discipline like, you know, the FOI. I mean, that drilling and stuff, that's discipline. They condition, they in alignment, they're in accord with each other, and they're in harmony. And they live upright life, you know, lifestyles, you know. It's all about how we eat, how we think, and all that. From a divine nature. Our nature that within us in our temple by a divine prescript, which is our DNA. We just gotta like tune into it, you know, naturally. We always be outside of ourselves, but it's inside of ourselves where the correct divine information come from. If through meditation or through this setting, relaxing, just thinking, closing your eyes and chill for a minute or two. And in that relaxation and peace, something going to come to you. You're going to hear something or you're going to feel something. And that be that divine essence of the Creator in you trying to speak to you in a silent voice. Now, women, we got to hold them in high esteem and pay due homage to these sisters. It's always been there for us as our mothers, sister, wives, cousin, whatever. They're always there for us. We got to protect and honor them also. We got to live in brotherhood. We got to overcome our idiosyncrasies or our so-called beasts or whatever, petty beasts, and be taking lives, man. We can't do that because it affects us as a people. It creates a generation gap, not between like parent and child, but a missing group of people. People ain't here no more. They're gone. You can't count them in the numbers no more. The reality has ended, you know. And somebody was saying something yesterday or whatever I heard. It say the brothers don't deal with, you know, how we used to deal with it. We used to have a problem or whatever. We used to throw these, right? Bam, 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 ping, dang, ding. And it was over with. But when you do this, bang, 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 it's really over with. That's the ending. And it ain't even necessary. Because we can talk through, or man, go through whatever we do. It ain't that bad. It ain't life-taking type scenario. I mean, I know that when two people each got a gun and they coming at each other, but it shouldn't get to that point. It shouldn't even get to that point with us, man. Because we should be brothers, first and foremost. We should be trying to deal with peace among ourselves and heal because of what we've been through. We got to know that we being manipulated still in this day and time by those in a high position or more affluent position in society, in life, that they want to control the whole system and the whole world the way they want to do it, but they need us to perpetrate that against ourselves so they can still be in a position of control or rulership. And we got to realize that we've been under attack since we've been in contact with these people. You can say Niagara, troglodyte, whatever, devil, whatever you want to call them. But those, the affluent people at the top of the echelons of this society, they got a desire to be or have a God complex to, continue their rule. I want to say salam alaikum to my brother. I was just talking about the FOI. Outstanding brother. Very well disciplined and intelligent. Love this brother to life. That's brother Edward Ford X. Salam alaikum, rahmatullah barakatuh, Hotep, Ashe, and Black Power, Black God. Strong brother, soldier. Stand by his side anywhere, anytime on this planet Earth. Well as some other brothers I know. They're strong like this individual. But we're dealing with an enemy, that been our enemy since we came in contact with them. Our dilemma ain't just started. Our dilemma been going on for thousands of years. Since the Vatican, well, I say hundreds, a couple of centuries from the Vatican, but we got to go further back than that to the ancient future. So I'm talking about ancient Nubian, ancient Kemet, when these first people came in there, the Neanderthals, the troglodytes or whatever, the Hyssops, and then the Greeks, and then the Romans and all that. It goes back that far. See, they got us confined in 2017 years. And like 500 of that we was in captivity or whatever. Then 100 of that we went through the black laws and Jim Crow laws and all that. Then the terrorism of the KKK and the white nationalism and all that. But it ain't started there. It started way back there. But now in modern times, they still doing the same thing through manipulation. As I said earlier, they have, they work out of laboratories 24/7 with the bell curve. It's a book called The Bell Curve to tell you how they use certain stimuli to affect us through the educational system or indoctrinational system, I'll call it that, to have us going against ourselves, our culture, and our spirituality. And in reality, we must step out of that, unify, organize, and develop an infrastructure based on our culture, based on our spirituality. I say African spirituality. I also say that any religion that we practice, institutionalized religion, Islam, Christianity, Israelites, or whatever, if it doesn't bring us together, then there's something wrong with that, in my humble opinion. In all humility, that's the way I see it, and that's the way I think divinely, because we have to go back to the source of African spirituality and bring us through these doors of learning that will bring us together, not keep us separated. We know we got those that we say that are the devil because of their acts that they perpetrated against us as a people. There's no sane human will do what they done to us. I'm talking about not only here in the American shores, I'm talking about on the African shores. See, they colonized those brothers over there, but they kept their religions, and they instilled Christianity in them and all that over there too. But they kept their culture and their language and all that. But us over here, we've been through the utmost turmoil. They they castrated us, burned us, lynched us and all that, and gave us another religion. Gave us Christianity. And not only to get on Christianity, but we got to be truthful and know that Islam, or the Arab culture, I'll say that. Well, I'm going to be truthful. Islam, when it came into Eastern Africa, it was Muslims that came in and enslaved the people in Tanzania. Because when I was in Tanzania, they had the whole history there. They talked about the Muslims coming in and enslaving them. But then they, took their kalima shahada and became Muslim. But first, it was slavery that was done, and the Muslims had more slaves than the European, but they weren't as horrific in their dealing with us as human beings. All they did is made our men eunuchs and took our women as concubines. But the European, the Neanderthal, the troglodyte, he burned us, lynched us, castrated, cut the fetus out the stomach, and stomped it, and want us to forgive and forget. And say that Jesus died for this sin or something like that. I can't turn my other cheek, and I can't forgive or forget. Because in my bloodline, they did something to my bloodline. And my bloodline is all our bloodline because I am by extended family member. I'm connected to all of us. You see, I can't forgive nor forget. And I just want to say that I listen to all the leaders, and I follow the protocols of all the leaders by uplifting myself spiritually and culturally. See, leaders like Jeremiah Wright, leaders like Minister Farrakhan, leaders like Willie Wilson. You know, these people that I know, leaders like all the leaders, masters, teachers, and all that. That's who we gotta, get into to pull, extract the knowledge and wisdom that they're giving us to uplift ourselves and build ourselves up to be better brothers and sisters to each other, be more protectors of our communities and guardians of our communities. We know about the missing 800,000 women and 800,000 women, men, and children, and it's like a lot of that is us. And then it's an epidemic in Washington, D.C. now, but I don't think I think it's sex rings more so than the missing children or whatever for the blood body parts or the melanin or whatever, because it seems though some of the children are coming back. But the children that are coming back, I don't know why they don't sit down and talk to them and ask them where they've been or whatever, get some evidence to see what's happening. And then people be talking about there's no news about it. Well, who controls the news? That should give you a clue to what's going on. If this is such an epidemic of proportion, and there's no news about it, who controls the news? So who's behind it? It should be simple. Simple is like, not like Simple Simon, but Simple Simon should have a diamond in the rough, and that should be his mind. Because things are just so simplistic that sometimes we overlook it because we be walking around with our eyes wide shut. And the hostility that we portray against each other, we got to stop, especially our young warriors. Man, y'all are the protectors of our community, man. There's no other way we get around that. Y'all are the warriors, and we should instill, or it should be instilled in you to have that feeling, that love for being the protectors of our community and the children. Because it should be that we feel as a village, as extended family members, no matter who we are. Again, I say, I don't care if you're Muslim, Christian, Jew, or whatever. We got to come together as a people, melanated people, united in the essence of who we are, in the blackness, in the mentality, in the spirit, in the reality of who we are, in the long line, the lineage of who we are, all the way back to the ancestors. By divine decree, we got to come together. We got to see with one eye. We got to see in alignment of unification, development, and organization to develop an infrastructure of love, peace, and understanding, and not this being just us, all harmful things happening to just us, not just the police killing us with no justification, or we don't have no burn, or the businesses in our community where all the money that we give to the people that had the stores in our community take the money out of our community. We got to stop getting high and getting drunk every Friday and Saturday and purify